across the Laikipia Plateau on one side and the Rift Valley towards Samburu on the other. They then dropped down towards Barana, opening up into a fast dusty section before once again climbing into mountain. The stage was closed, however drivers would need to be wary of the abundant wildlife whose tranquil morning was about to be shattered by the roar of rally cars. Stage, and Tundo set off on full attack, destroying the competition by 46 seconds to open up a 54-second lead over Rajbir Rai. As we ride on board with the leader, we get a taste of what it takes to tackle these roads at such high speeds. Rai was pushing hard and was second fastest in the Evo 10. He'd started third on the road and in passing the stranded Chagga would have known his second position was safe. Chagga also started on full attack. However, his challenge suffered a blow when he hit a rock and punctured. They were forced to stop and change the tyre, losing over 4 minutes and any hope of catching the leaders. This cost him and he dropped back to 5th overall. Chate was third fastest, but got caught up in Chagga's dust for the last 20 kilometres and was forced to back off. However, he moved up into third, a minute and a half behind Rai. Kavanagh bent a front arm which threw the handling out, but despite also having reduced power with the car in road mode, still went fourth fastest and moved into 4th overall. Frank Tundo was finding his form on this longer stage. It suited him better, moving him up to 8th overall ahead of Channa. Azza Anwar also enjoyed the longer stage, which had a more endurance element to it, and he went 6th fastest to close the gap on Burridge to just 5 seconds. Burridge was 7th fastest, 10 seconds slower than Anwar, but was very happy to have got through the long stage, both the car and navigator working perfectly. Channa was 9th fastest, but lost out to Frank Tundo, slipping back to 9th overall, 14 seconds adrift of the veteran. Steve Gucheru set his first top 10 time of the event, moving him into the final top 10 position. Patel was steadily improving in his old Impreza and was once again fastest in the S-Class. At this point, unaware that his main challenger was out of the rally. He was lying 11th overall.
We haven't had good shocks from the beginning. Now the shock has finally given up. Not boosting much either. But we're pembelezing it. I mean, it's not a big issue.
Alistair Keith was pushing hard, trying to make up positions, but his concentration was off, and he missed part of the note on this corner, which read medium left over brow, tightens. The car went wide, clipping the bank and sending him into a roll. The damage wasn't too great, but with a healthy lead in the championship and over half the rally to run, the crew opted to call it a day.
Well, we're still quite far ahead. We've still got quite a few points to sort of play with, and thankfully we've still got some time to try and repair the car between now and the safari. So we should be okay, but we'll see how it goes.
Don Smith had been running as high as 14th overall before his engine blew, catching fire in the process. The crew escaped unhurt, but the car will need a lot of work to get it ready for the safari. Jonathan Soman set the 16th fastest time in the Mark II Escort, an impressive drive, just 9 seconds slower than Pandya in 13th and moved him up to 17th overall. Hussein Malik was finding his form and went second fastest in his rebuilt Evo 6, which he rolled heavily on the second round. He was up to 18th and second in the S-Class. James Karimi also enjoyed the longer stage and went third fastest. With the demise of Keith, he moved into a podium position and 19th overall. Dennis Mwenda went 7 seconds faster than Adnan Suhail to regain the F2 class lead by just 3 seconds. Suhail was driving well, not allowing Mwenda a moment to relax as the pair rekindled their 2013 rivalry. Leonardo Varese was a full 2 minutes slower, but managed to beat Eric Bengi, whose engine was missing. However, the championship leader remained fourth in the class, just 11 seconds ahead of Thethi. Thethi's frustrations continued as the mechanics failed to fix the engine miss that had plagued him from the start. He was driving now to finish and salvage as many points as possible. The crew still had one more run of the Bataillon View special stage before they could get back to service, with Tundo setting the fastest time ahead of Chagga and Rajbir Rai. The trio separated by just 2 seconds. As the cars arrived for service after the long loop, there was plenty of work for the mechanics to do, and for the drivers, a chance to relax and contemplate doing it all over again. The rally was far from over, with another run through the Lol Daiga stage.
Yeah, it was good. It was very technical and quite tough. We got through clean, but it was quite hard work.
We went fairly well, but Flash beat us by quite a decent margin. I think something like 40 seconds. So we're sitting in a bubble for second at the moment. So we're just going to try and consolidate that now.
Unfortunately, we got into Boldy's dust. He was ahead of us and got a puncture, and then we were about 15-20 k's into the stage. Once we caught him after the puncture, it was all the way was dusty, so I suppose we lost quite a lot of time because of that.
Yesterday we had a broken drive shaft which we were able to change on transport, and therefore we didn't lose any time getting into CS2 Kisima. Today, I mean, it's been okay. We've got a good rhythm, and I believe we're doing well.
After a regroup, the crews headed back to the third and final run through the Tarraco stage. Chagga made it 3 from 3, once again improving his fastest time by a further 7 seconds. He was 19 seconds faster than Chate in the battle for fourth, reducing the gap to 27 seconds heading to Lol Daiga. Rai went second fastest to beat Tundo by 2 seconds, but remained almost a minute down on the leader. Tundo was third fastest, but now held a 54-second lead heading to Lol Daiga, where he could extend his lead even further. Kavanagh had managed to sort out the sensor problem on his Proton and went fourth fastest, just 2 seconds slower than Tundo. We pick up the action back in the Lol Daiga stage for the second run of the long 54-kilometre section, a stage that would have a big impact on the leaderboard. Tundo was first into the stage and once again attacked, emerging at the end with a 4-minute 36-second lead. With just the short 3-kilometre spectator stage to run, he could be forgiven for feeling confident he'd done enough to take the win. Behind him, news was coming in fast that first Rajbir Rai had gone off and damaged his radiator, forcing him to retire, and then that Baldiv Chagga had been sidelined with an alternator failure. As everything stood, Tundo would now leave Nanyuki with a healthy championship lead. Chate was second fastest through the stage and emerged second overall with a comfortable 4-minute cushion to third. After his win in Tanzania, he was on for another great result. Raji Barrage was third fastest through the stage and also moved up to third overall with the demise of Ryan Chaga. Azza Anwar got through without any problems to emerge fourth overall and over 2 minutes ahead of Channa. Channa drove cleanly through the stage, jumping up to fifth. He had a comfortable cushion after Frank Tundo dropped back with a fuel pump problem, which left him in 10th. After missing 2 events earlier in the season, Amwari had driven at just 90%, determined to record a finish, and was delighted to find himself in 6th overall. Steve Mwangi was 7th fastest and moved into 7th in the N12, looking set for one of his best results. Despite backing off and recording only the 13th fastest time, Karan Patel moved into 8th overall. He had a comfortable lead in the S-Class, over 3 minutes ahead of Karimi. Anwar Pandya moved from 14th up to 9th overall as those in front hit trouble, and he was on for his best result. Ronak Shah was fighting back after dropping down the order with mechanical problems, setting the 10th fastest time and moving back to 11th overall. Mahesh Halai moved into 12th overall after a steady drive that had perhaps been a little too cautious. James Karimi was fastest in the S-Class on this stage, but it wasn't enough to get past Patel, and he stayed in second. Jonathan Soman split the S-Class contenders, finishing the stage in 14th overall, ahead of Malik. Dennis Mwenda's run of bad luck continued when he punctured and was forced to stop to change it, losing over 4 minutes and dropping down to third in the class. Adnan Suhail went quickest to take over the class lead with a 5-minute cushion over Varese. Varese was second fastest to move ahead of Mwenda and into second in the class. After a major shake-up in the leaderboard, the crews headed back to the final run through the spectator stage. With just 3 kilometres to go and a 4-minute lead, Tundo could almost have gone through this section in first gear to win, but fate had a different plan.
There's no luck. Turn it on. Come on. Fuel pump. There's definitely no fuel.
At the start of the stage, his fuel pump failed and he lost over 20 minutes trying to get the car going again. It was a cruel blow after dominating through the 2 Lol Daiga passes, and he should have left with the championship lead. He managed to get going again, but had dropped down to 9th overall. And Frank Tundo suffered from the same problem and was forced to retire. Jazzy Chate could hardly believe his luck. After spending most of the rally in 4th overall, he emerged at the end of the spectator stage with his first Kenya National Championship win. And means for the 2nd rally in a row, Kenya has a new rally winner.
We saw Rajbir first by the road, went a little bit ahead, saw Boldy ahead. So we tried to back off a little bit, knowing that we are, sealing on second, so we shouldn't take any more risks. Yeah, but towards the end, unfortunately, I see Flash has a problem at the start of here. Quite sad, but I mean, I don't know whether he's still come in or not, so I have no idea.
Raji Barrage had come to Nanyuki with a new navigator, hoping to record a finish, but instead recorded his best ever result with 2nd overall.
Jasneel and I, this is the first rally we're doing together. Jasneel's never written notes for stages before. The first time he got into the rally car was yesterday morning, and we're 2nd overall, so that pretty much sums it up. It's pretty fantastic, and I think Jasneel did a fantastic job.
Azza Anwar once again found himself in a well-deserved podium position after another clean drive in his old Evo 8.
We drive at our best, we take care of the car. Our budget, of course, is low. and God has favored us today. Sometimes you have to celebrate somebody else's failure.
Jasmeet Chana finished 4th to record another fantastic result that sees him move up to 5th in the overall championship standings. Issa Amwari was another driver delighted with his results, coming home in 5th overall. Steve Mwangi recorded his best result to finish 6th. Karan Patel finished 7th overall, a fantastic result for the young driver, and with it the S-Class win. He still trails Keith in the overall standings, but is now a real title contender. Anwar Pandya held on to finish 8th overall in the ageing N10 and record another top result for the team. Ronak Shah rounded out the top 10 in only his 4th rally in the N12, another young driver steadily improving as the season progresses. Adnan Suhail was another driver to be struck with bad luck at the final hurdle, breaking a drive shaft and being forced to retire. This handed Leonardo Varese the class win, proving that just getting to the end can be enough to win your class. The podium prize-giving ceremony was held beside the service park. Once again, the organisers had laid on a fantastic event with a perfect mix of technical and fast stages run on closed private roads. Jazzy Chatti recorded his first career win in Kenya and with it moves into the championship lead after the top 3 drivers all hit trouble. It was a huge boost for the Kisumu driver and should give him more confidence heading into the remaining rounds. So a quick look at the tables, and the main championship has been shaken up at the top, with Chatti holding a slender lead over Chaga. Tundo drops to 3rd after luck robbed him of a chance to move into the lead, and Rajbir Rai is just 6 points further back, but with the top 4 separated by just 40 points, this championship is one of the most exciting in years. Alistair Keith still holds a comfortable 80-point advantage at the top of the table, but needs to make sure of a finish on the remaining rounds. Karan Patel moves ahead of Njogu and is definitely the revelation in this year's title battle. Varese extends his lead in the F2 category with a steady, consistent approach. Mwenda shares 3rd with Nadeem Khanna. His do-or-die approach might not be helping his title defence, but certainly entertains the crowds. The next round of the championship is the Safari Rally. Forming part of the Africa Rally Championship, it's the longest rally of the season and the event whose trophy every driver wants their name on. We can expect a host of international entries from across Africa to come and do battle with Kenya's best. Expect more closed roads and spectacular rally action, with the crews having a 2-month break to rebuild and prepare for the greatest rally on the continent. We'll see you there.